Hey y'all, today we need to talk about Namecheap and their massive outage due to a power disruption at their Phoenix NAP data center. Namecheap is a web hosting services provider, basically a place where you can purchase domain names and other website services for your website. It is similar to GoDaddy, if you're familiar with that. With all of the recent construction and controversy surrounding data centers, I think most of us are aware that they require cooling systems that use water.
These servers running nonstop can overheat. We see pipes filled with cold water to keep the room cool.
Does it not work if it's too hot?
Components can fail if they get too hot.
Once we step outside, the noise is hard to hear. Then we follow the massive pipes across the campus to a row of 10 towers where the water is cooled.
Well, due to the extreme heat in Arizona on the night of August 12th, followed by the accompanying rainfall, the power somehow went out. That means that all of the websites that use Namecheap as their host were completely down, completely offline for 8+ hours. And the business owners that use Namecheap for their websites are understandably pissed off. An angry user says, "My email is not working. A client is trying to register on my system and I can't send the verification link via the email. Come on." Namecheap was replying to these tweets saying they're working on it and that they hope to have services back up quickly. Another user said, "As soon as this problem is resolved, I'm going to migrate everything to another platform. This is unacceptable." Many of these business owners have lost out on huge amounts of money due to this shutdown. Anyone with an e-commerce site would have been losing out on sales by the second. One user said, "So far, this outage has cost my business $20,000 and counting. At this point, apologies and updates aren't enough. My attorneys will be pursuing recovery of the losses caused by this outage." I know for people that don't dabble in the online computer world, probably just think that this is a minor issue, but the amount of money being made on the internet and by internet-based businesses is truly unmatched. These business owners need a host that they can rely on and trust. Another customer says, "I'm running a business and have multiple emails to get back to daily. The fact that there's no estimated time frame confirms that it's much more than a power outage." That comment leads me into my next point. Of course, weather conditions are unpredictable and we're all susceptible to the elements, but even in lieu of all of that, this power outage should have never happened. There should have been backup generators. According to reports by the CEO, Hillen Klein himself, it appears the cooling system seemed to have been impacted due to extreme weather conditions overnight. The cooling system going down obviously caused the servers to heat up, which most likely resulted in a shutdown. They were waiting for the servers to cool back down. If they would have had generators, they likely could have kept the cooling system online or even at half capacity until the issue was resolved. If that were the case, Namecheap probably wouldn't be dealing with this extreme downtime situation. They also clearly have no load balancing. I get that it was hot, but what does Murphy's Law state? Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. All engineers know you need to have backups for your backups for your backups. They should have had a failover and other backup solutions for when something like this happens. It's called a BCP, Business Continuity Plan, and an IRP, Incident Response Plan. It would be easy for them to set it up so when this happens, they can migrate their data to a warm site, basically a sister site to the original site that is good enough to function and keep systems going, but not as fancy and well kept as the main site. They could have also avoided this by having a backup data center or another data center close by where they could redirect traffic while this all went down. Load balancing to prevent overheating. Now, this all piqued my interest, so I looked into the Phoenix NAP data center and found that they have recently been bought by a company called Radius DC. Radius DC is specifically in the business of building and funding the expansion of data centers. I don't know how they make their money, but their head of development is an ex-military and national defense guy. All I'm saying is it's no surprise to me that the military would have some sort of involvement in a company dealing with billions of dollars. Radius DC was actually brought on because the Phoenix data center is being expanded. The article reads, Radius DC plans to initiate an expansion at the current facility known as DC1. The company intends to increase DC1's total IT load to 8 megawatts. In parallel, Radius DC will push forward the development of DC2, a second building designed to support up to 18 megawatts of additional critical IT power. The first phases of DC2 are expected to come online in the first half of 2028. If both phases progress as outlined, the Phoenix 1 campus could eventually scale to approximately 26 megawatts of capacity. So, being a devil's advocate for Namecheap, maybe they saw their flaws, knew this was a potential outcome, and that's why they are actively pursuing the upgrade of their facilities. The CEO also was leaving updates as he learned information, so it could be argued they did all they could after the fact. But the problem is that they didn't do everything they could to prevent this. And now the damage is already done. Not only that, but the branding reputation damage for Namecheap is going to be at an all-time high. More businesses are remote now than ever before. Tons of people are running up to 10 sites due to SEO needs. Downtime at minimum for this outage will have cost some businesses upwards of $20,000. The money involved here is insane. Think of the business owners that don't run their own sites. They're going to take a monetary hit too because they'll have to pay their IT guy to come in and get their website back up and running after the outage. It's also bad business for the websites that rely solely on uptime because if customers type in your site and it just doesn't exist, that's not a very good user experience. So what can Namecheap do to save face here? They need to offer massive discounts for their current users, free packages or free upgrades to current packages. One user says, any compensation, free hosting, we're losing money left and right, and considering alternatives or backup measures. Convince us to stay. I think that competitors should actually leverage this whole situation with a no outage package that attracts the customers looking to migrate. A user commented, just transferred 6 domains to another provider. Very simple process. Not letting Namecheap put me out of business. So what are your thoughts on all of this? Are you a Namecheap user? How has this outage impacted you and your business? Have you already found a new provider? Or what is your next move? Let me know in the comments. It was great talking to you all, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!